What's up, sports fans? What's up, world? You are now tuned into the world's greatest MC Ron and his co-host.
Your guy, Zen on Ken, wishing you a happy New Year's.
And we are keeping it 10 toes down. We are the sports podcast that always keeps it real about sports talk. It is just as my co-host just said, we are in the brand new year of 2026. But even more importantly, we are on episode 197 of this podcast, which means we are 3 episodes away from episode 200. And just as I previously said, we are in 2026. We are recording this podcast on January 6th, 2026, precisely at 7:54 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, baby. Oh, but it feels like New Year, same old Ravens. Cause yeah, KJ, no, explain this to me, man. Explain this to me. How in the world your team drives down the field, gets into field goal range? Everything has no. Let's rewrite even before that. Of course, your cornerback, Mr. I think forgot what his name was, number 3. I know that I just know his number. Quarterback, huh?
Huntley.
Is that Huntley?
Yeah.
Oh, that's his name. His name was
Tyler Huntley.
Is that Tyler Huntley?
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about your backup quarterback. I'm talking about your corner.
Number 3? Or are you talking about number 2?
I'm talking about number 3, the DB.
Oh, was it? I don't remember his name.
Yeah, I was like something like something like African or something like that. But anyway, he falls down.
Still,
yeah, I think it was like a Owusu or something like that.
Awuzie, Chad Awuzie.
So he falls down, gives up the touchdown, but then the Steelers missed the extra point. So now all you don't need is a field goal to win the game. Lamar Jackson throws a good throw, but even better catch by Likely, gets you in the field goal range. You got 12 seconds still on the clock. You still got a timeout left. First question is, why didn't you just run the ball with Derrick Henry for like 3 or 4 more yards, get yourself closer? I understand you're trying to center the ball and make sure that your gets the best kick possible, but we see at the conclusion of this game that it didn't happen. But yes, that's strike 1. But still, you centered it. All you had to do was make the kick, and then 44-yard field goal. It's not a gimme, especially on that field in Pittsburgh. But still, we got kickers bombing 60-yarders like it's nothing nowadays in the NFL. So
it's because he's a rookie, bro.
Yeah. So explain to me.
Anytime you have the what's up?
Yeah, because my question was, explain to me how everything was like. It felt like set up for Baltimore to win the game and win the division, and it just wasn't so.
I will tell you one thing. I'll tell you who the problem is not. It's not Lamar Jackson, because we saw in that game, throw after throw after throw after throw after throw, clutch after clutch after clutch after clutch after clutch. Yeah, we didn't run Derrick Henry that much in the second half because we was throwing the ball and everything like that because we had to. But yeah, everybody wants to blame Lamar Jackson, and it's not Lamar Jackson's fault. And we'll talk about it a little bit whose fault it is a little bit later. But as far as this game go, like I told y'all, bro, this was gonna be the battle of who get their head coach fired. Seeing, I've been out and about all day, and I just found out that Harbaugh got fired. God. Oh my lord. Yeah, like I said, we'll talk about that later. But it's just another letdown, bro. Like it is not even this year. That's not even the only year. You got this year. You have Tyler Luton missing the field goal. Last year, you got Mark Andrews. The year before that, Zay Flowers fumbled at the goal line. The year before that, Tyler Huntley fumbled at the goal line against the Bengals because you remember Lamar Jackson was hurt.
True.
It did before that in 2020. Lamar Jackson picked 6 versus the Bills. 2019, Derrick Henry went crazy, and then 2017, I think Tyler Boyd for the Bengals.
Yep.
I almost said the Browns. For the Bengals on like 4th and 12, bro.
Oh yeah.
Caught like a 49-yard
The
touchdown.
funny part is I watched that game happen. I watched that play happen
Live.
Yeah.
Right? Don't it just boil your? Well, it probably don't boil your bubble, but it boiled mine, bro. So 2015. So from 2025 to 2017, we've been having stuff like this. It's something had to give. Something got to give, but I will save further comments for later jargon. But right now, I'm still kind of just like, how do we let the Pittsburgh Steelers? I'm sorry, the Pittsburgh Steelers get the division?
Well, it doesn't help that you started 1-5. It doesn't help. It doesn't help that Lamar Jackson got hurt in the season. Doesn't help that you got back into the division race, then subsequently lose the games that you probably should have won. I'm definitely highlighting that Patriots game for y'all not handing the ball off to Derrick Henry.
And I'm definitely hollering at the Ravens, not the Ravens, the refs, the Zebras, for saying they likely dropped that touchdown pass. And these are the years and players and plays that I just rattled off. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years I've rattled off.
Yep.
This is just like playoff or about to be in playoff mode. This doesn't count. You notice I didn't say nothing about likely stepping in the back of the end zone at the first game of the season or anything like that. Like this is just that. Like we have moments like this all the time.
So, it is very, very disappointing. It was still a good game. Like for me, as a football game, as a football fan, as a fan of neither team, I was thoroughly entertained, especially in the fourth quarter. Now, for anybody who wants to blame Lamar Jackson on this, let me tell you why people want to blame Lamar Jackson. All right, I don't want to take.
Go ahead. I'm gonna make a point. Go ahead.
I don't want to take too long, and I'm just going to keep it short and simple because there's a lot of thoughts in my head. But I'm just going to give you just one. The reason why people want to blame Lamar Jackson is because they are upset that Lamar Jackson is more successful than they actually thought he was going to be. They thought that he was going to be a running back, a wide receiver. A lot of people, you should have saw when he was coming out of Louisville. A lot of people were like, "Oh, the Ravens they overdrafted him. They reached for him." Like there was all of that. Like there were literally a lot of people saying that the Ravens were stupid to draft Lamar Jackson. Turned out, this man's not only is he a good quarterback, he's an elite quarterback. He's one of the Fantastic Four, as I favorably coined them. And so because of that, because Lamar Jackson has proven them wrong that he's not just a quarterback in this league. He's not just a successful quarterback in this league. He's an elite quarterback in this league. They've got to find every single little nitpick at him, every little imperfection that because they are mad that they were wrong. That's why. But go ahead, KJ.
My only point is people who are Lamar Jackson criticizers only watch the box scores and only see him when something wrong goes awry. Because if you watch Lamar Jackson, y'all don't see his Jackson 5s. Y'all, they've been talking trash about Lamar Jackson since college. Coming out of college, out of Louisville, talking about go to wide receiver. What? This man was putting up 200 yards on the ground, 200 yards in the air, 3-4 touchdowns every week, every Saturday. And then he gets to the league and he's doing the same thing. Now he done coined the Jackson 5. Like, come on, bro. You talking about he's bad, he's trash, he's not this, he's not that. I'll tell you what he's not. A terrible quarterback. I'll tell you what also he's not. Worse than your quarterback. I ain't talking about you. I'm just talking about in general. All the listeners. If you ain't a Ravens fan, maybe a Patrick Mahomes fan, your quarterback is not better than Lamar Jackson. And you know it.
But yeah.
But that's my only thing.
I got more to say, but I'll table that when we get into coaching firings. But anyway, but not all your teams didn't miss the playoffs. KJ, your Panthers. I did say that one of your teams was gonna make the playoffs. Now I thought the Panthers were gonna make it in a win, but I was half right.
Hey, let me tell you, the Carolina faithful, we were diehard Falcons fans this week. Let me tell you, like we were rooting for them so hard. But let me just say this: it's real ironic that Carolina plays the game before the Falcons do. The Falcons and Saints game. Because if Carolina had won that game and lost, we wouldn't have cared about the Falcons game. Nobody would have watched the Falcons and Saints. Unless you were a Falcons fan or a Saints fan. But even if you were a Saints fan, you probably still didn't watch the game because y'all team ain't going nowhere. But I will say this.
Yeah.
It's looking mighty familiar, y'all. What is the rule? Ohio State wins. Carolina has a losing record. Carolina played in that same season. Then the next season, Carolina plays the Jaguars. First game of the season, and Jennifer Lopez gets a divorce. All things have happened. Carolina is in now. That was a little funny games when it was a regular season and we was up and down and everything, winning and losing every week. But now we in the playoffs. So I'm just saying, anything can happen.
I'm gonna laugh my ass off if y'all get to this there guy. If y'all get to this goddamn Super Bowl, I'm like, what? Good OT. But but yeah, congratulations to your Panthers for getting to the playoffs. Even though I do believe that they're kind of cheating in that game, they're kind of the refs. There are like 3 calls that like majorly. The one that was supposed to be like a face mask or a personal foul, and wasn't called. It wasn't called. I forgot. I think it was against one of the Bucs defenders. The one.
Oh yeah, they was cheating on us. They called Ted McMillan for
offensive pass.
Offensive pass. Come on, bro.
And then the one when the one that took the cake was the one where they say it was a fumble out of bounds, where we clearly saw Rico Dowdle pick the ball up. I'm like.
The ball wasn't even out of bounds, bro.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Like he literally picked the ball up. So my thing is, if the only way, and the thing is, they blew it dead, so which means it's supposed to be incomplete. But then there was like, no, it was a fumble out of bounds. So that was like second to 16. I'm like, what do you mean it ruled fumble out of bounds? Like
liars, you lying in my face. I see what happened.
But yeah, but still. I guess the football guys said, you know what, Panthers, the refs did, mess y'all up. So we'll do y'all solid and have the Falcons beat the Saints. So, but yeah.
Which is crazy because everybody in the NFC South not only has a losing record, not only has the same record, but has a losing record. We're all 8-9. Well, besides the Saints, because they suck. They're 6-11, but yeah.
Crazy. But what else
shoot, if the Falcons didn't fumble that game, fumble one of them games a week or two ago, they could have been going to the playoffs.
Honestly, that is the. No, they probably would have fumbled the Saints game, but anyway,
they got smacked. They got smacked by the Seahawks. That was their last loss, and then like you beat the Rams, you beat the Bucs. You get smacked by the Seahawks, and you lose to the Jets.
I think that's the game that's coming back to haunt them. That's the game. But
the Jets don't even have an interception this season. But anyways,
speaking of records, speaking of infamous, well, speaking of records, Myles Garrett has officially the sack leader. He broke the sack record. It was tied by J.J. Watt and Michael Strahan, but now he stands alone. 23 sacks in one season. Shouts out to Myles Garrett. That's the only good thing that, well, not probably. Well, I would say I was about to say the only good thing that came out of Cleveland, but I don't know. Depending on how you feel about your former head coach, we'll get there. It might be too.
Honestly, Cleveland has a lot of Cleveland has a bright future. Let me say that, because not only did they have a phenomenal draft this year, like their linebacker might win rookie defensive of the year, rookie defensive player of the year. But yeah, they have a good defense. They have the sack leader. Regardless of how you feel about Shedeur Sanders, he is solid. Regardless of if they want to upgrade or not, he's still solid if they keep him. I don't know. I think they have a lot of potential.
I'm still in a wait and see approach when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. I can tell you one thing. He's not as bad as I thought he would be. But I'm still on the. He's an NFL quarterback, but he's a backup quarterback. Like, I'm not trying to slight him or anything like that, but that's what I see. That's still kind of what I see. But unlike other people, I'm open to be wrong. I'm actually open to be wrong, like other folks. But before we get into coach firings, because that's where we're heading towards. But really quickly, who do you think is going to win MVP? Drake May or Matthew Stafford? Because those are the main two people. Stafford.
Stafford. Gotta go with Stafford.
With Trevor Lawrence being in dark horse, that it's not going to be real. But
yeah, he should get some consideration, I would say. Yeah. But maybe not over. Dang, I was gonna say maybe not over the two running backs, and Taylor and Christian McCaffrey, but who knows?
I want Matthew Stafford to win it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want him to win it, but there's a part of me that feels like Drake May is going to do it. But I want Matthew Stafford because, like, I feel like this. First of all, this is like overall, and I know he's had a couple of shaky games. The Falcons game, Wink is a big one, but which might cost him that MVP. But overall, he's had it like in my opinion, his best season as a pro. And like, I really wanted them just give. If you can give Josh Allen a pity MVP, you can give another pity MVP to Matt Stafford. Yes, KJ, I'm admitting.
I wouldn't even say Stafford would have a pity MVP. Like, I think Drake May is very much like, if he wins the MVP, he's more than very much well deserving of it. But I think Matthew Stafford is. I think he's just. I just think he's the better quarterback, honestly.
Gotcha.
And if this is a quarterback's award, you got to give it to the best quarterback.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm down with Matt Stafford. I did mention something about Trevor Lawrence. All right, let me. Early on this season on this podcast, I talked about how I don't trust the Jaguars and how they've been Jekyll and Hyde. For like the last 6 weeks of this season, they've been Jackal. They haven't. It's been straight Jackal. They've been really, really good. So I got to give a little shout out to them for basically kind of not being as inconsistent as they were early on in the season. It looks like they finally, and they're on like a I think like an 8-game winning streak if I remember correctly. They're like on an 8-game winning streak, and they also won their division.
Something like that.
Huh? What'd you say? I don't know.
I
No,
said something like that.
yeah, I think they're. No, I think they're on a 9-win winning streak. Either way, I know they won the division over the Texans. So yeah, and who would have thought that like halfway through the season, people thought it was going to be the Colts. Like the Colts were like far. Yeah, because it was the Jaguars did go on a 9-game winning streak because the Jaguars are 4-4 and the Colts were 7-1 during like the halfway point, and my have things changed.
My half things changed because we really thought that once Daniel Jones got hurt, I was like, oh well, Texans, this is your division to lose, buddy. Um,
but even
but
but even before then, the Colts were kind of hitting the wall anyway. Like, so I
yeah, a
think it
little
would have.
bit.
I think all the Daniel Jones injuries did was speed up the process that was actually going to happen regardless. But like you said. But let's the playoffs are set, but we ain't going there yet. We ain't going to the pick six and all that not yet because after the regular season happened, Black Monday and Tuesday and today,
Boy, heads rolled.
coaches got fired or mutually agreed to part ways. If you're talking about my Commanders and our offensive coordinator, but yeah, heads rolled. All right, heads rolled, and let's start with your team because that's the one that happened the most recently, literally probably about an hour and a half ago. John Harbaugh has been fired by the Ravens. So, KJ, how do you feel about this?
I'm I'm not gonna lie. I'm shocked. I'm very shocked that we actually did it. I thought that there was gonna be a possibility, even a strong possibility we would do it, but I never thought we would actually do it. um, I mean, because if you look at our track record, John Harbaugh is only our third head coach in our franchise history, even though we only been here since '96. But we've only had 3 head coaches.
Whew.
You said who?
No. I was like, whew.
Oh, you was like, woo, yeah.
Yeah.
So our first 2 years we had Ted Marchibroda. I'm sorry, y'all. I was only 2 years old. I don't know. I was only like 2 and 4. I don't know that man's name, but I do know Brian Billick. And right after that, we had John Harbaugh. So we need stability at head coach. I mean, Harbaugh is obviously a Hall of Fame coach for us. Like, I think he's like 180 something, like 183 and like 11. I mean, in 111 as far as a record, he's won a Super Bowl. He's like 13 and 11. This is off the top of my head. He's like 13 and 11, and in the playoffs. One of the higher winning percentages in his era.
Yeah.
Like, cause we got to think about it. He's been coaching since like 2007, 2008. So he's coached against Phillip Rivers. He's coached against Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, like everybody, bro. Mike Vick, Donovan McNabb, like the best era of football to some people.
Oh man. Yeah. Drew
You know
Brees.
what I'm saying? And what you was gonna say?
I said Drew Brees, that quarterback too.
Drew Brees, like you can just rattle him off, bro. Like he's played so many Hall of Fame quarterbacks and got him a Super Bowl. They had Hall of Fame players and everything like that. But I think back then we had a lot more stability for whatever reason. These last couple years, I guess since 2017, like I said, the stability has been going up and down. And I commend. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, we really shouldn't even be that shocked because John Harbaugh was finna get fired until who came mid-season when we let go Joe Flacco.
Lamar Jackson. Who was saying,
Lamar Jackson literally had to tailor the entire offense from a lighthouse throwing the football to a mobile quarterback. That is a complete 180 in offensive changes, the scheme set changes, right? Um,
people and that once again that leaves Lamar Jackson haters' like brain because people don't realize like he actually saved John Harbaugh's job for like an extra like
he saved John Harbaugh's job, bro. Like y'all do
for
not know.
another seven
That's
eight
why I said
years.
like y'all just box score readers, bro. Like y'all, yeah, John Harbaugh's finna be gone. Um, which is kind of crazy because he had just like that was like what 3 years removed from a Super Bowl.
well,
but
well, no, about
but
like
any,
4 or 5.
nah, because we won in like 2013. No, we won in
It's 2012.
2012.
No, 2012, 2012.
Yeah,
One of them years.
yeah, one of them. I think that that season. But yeah, he was finna get fired. Lamar Jackson saved his butt. Um, but we've been inconsistent. Like all of these last second um game fumbles and losses and everything like that, drop passes and everything. That's culture.
Mm.
Because we have one of the most talented. We have a top 3 talented roster in the league, if not the most talented roster in the league. With respect to the Eagles, those that out of them two, I I don't know who's third, but it ain't us. It ain't one of them two teams. um, yeah, that's culture, that's mindset. So now he may still be an amazing coach, but we probably just need something different.
And that's the thing. Like, it's not saying that John Harbaugh. I'm not gonna say John Harbaugh was a horrible coach. No, he was not. I mean, you don't coach
He done made
18
some
years
bad
and
decisions, keeping Falele in. Because he is also a play caller. So some of the play calls, why the heck against the Patriots are you not running Derrick Henry when we are up 13 points? You won a Super Bowl, right? Act like it. Come win another one if you want to. You don't want to.
so, but it was time. Like, there comes a time where like the coach's message gets like it just becomes like white noise, and because of that, he had to go. He had to go. It wasn't. It's just not saying that. It's just it is time. Well, he was
And
coach
that
for
goes back to
18
my
years.
point.
He, like
That goes back to my point because if you have the option of having a Super Bowl winning head coach or a MVP quarterback, and you go with the quarterback, guess who the problem is not? The quarterback. I digress. I
but yeah, it
digress.
was time. It was just time, and what like I said, he's been their head coach for what 18, 19 years,
18 seasons.
18 seasons. Coaches nowadays don't even last 5 seasons. Hell, 3.
Right.
hell. In the case of Pete Carroll, 1.
One.
In the case of Pete Carroll, he didn't last 1 season with the Raiders. We'll talk about more about that. But good tea. But yeah, it was just time. It was just time. His time then ran its course. Now, to the people who are saying that, because this is where I was going to talk about the people who said that Lamar should have been gotten rid of and they should have kept the coach. First of all, I know you all were not around for Peyton Manning, his first like 8-9 years in the league, because he was the guy that consistently, kind of choked in the playoffs and didn't win a Super Bowl until his ninth season. If y'all were around during that time, y'all be saying to get rid of Peyton Manning. That's all I'm gonna say. But
Yeah, y'all have been calling Peyton Manning a bust boy. All them interceptions he was throwing.
Yeah, like before he won his first Super Bowl. Oh yeah, y'all definitely would have been like y'all people. Yeah, but
Eli
anyway.
too. Y'all would have treated Eli like Daniel Jones.
Actually, they were. But actually, before that 2007 Super Bowl, believe me, oh yeah, they were saying get rid of Eli like today. But I say this to say that first of all, Lamar Jackson's an elite quarterback, still in his prime. He's about 28 years old. There is no way in hell a organization is going to get rid of a 28-year-old quarterback that's still in their prime and that still can play at an elite level. That is not, they don't care how many, especially, I understand, he's a Super Bowl winning head coach. But once again, those Super Bowls happened like 13 years ago. So, NFL's a what have you done for me lately business. So, an owner, I've got a nice young quarterback. Still 28. He's elite and all that. Yeah, they're going with the quarterback and they're going to get rid of the head coach first. All right? Because the quarterback position is a bigger investment than the head coach. And so they're going to make sure that investment sees its maximum potential. They've already seen the maximum potential with John Harbaugh. They've already seen it. He won them a Super Bowl. Guess what? Bye-bye. I'm gonna get another coach in here for my young franchise quarterback. Point blank period. And watch. I have a feeling this is what I have a feeling was going to happen when y'all get a new head coach. I have a feeling that y'all gonna probably struggle coming out of the blocks next season, and everybody gonna say, "Hey, blah blah blah. This is why they shouldn't have gotten it." It's going to happen. It's going to. I'm telling you. And y'all might not even. Honestly, I can see this happening. Once again, y'all get a new head coach next season. Maybe y'all get into the playoffs, and then y'all lose in the playoffs, and then a whole bunch of people are gonna say, this is why they shouldn't have gotten rid of John Harbaugh. This is why they should have done this, that." I'm telling you. People out there are going to be very, very, I see it already. But all I'm going to say to you is that it was just time. It was time. Let's talk about these other coaching firings, all right? Because we got a lot. So where do we want to go? Let's go to Kevin Stefanski.
I was about to say, I think the perfect transition would be Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll?
And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. So, Pete Carroll only lasted a year, right? With the Raiders.
Yep.
Wasn't spectacular. Also didn't have a lot of spectacular pieces and stuff like that. Because I think Max Crosby was hurt most of the season. And you have a terrible you have an amazing running back, but you got a terrible offensive line. You have an amazing tight end, but you don't have no wide receivers. And your quarterback kind of So what you gonna do, right? Well, he left, and now they have the first pick, actually, in this upcoming draft. And I think a certain a certain head coach just got recently let go, right? Wasn't we just talking about John Harbaugh?
Mm-hmm.
What if John Harbaugh went to the Raiders? Then not only would the Raiders have, I would say, some more stability and a brighter future, because they're more than likely finna pick Mendoza. Tom Brady is like, hey, handsome white guy, quarterback, draft him.
My image, man.
So they're gonna have a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Just they're gonna have to retool a little bit or whatever like that. But they have a brighter future, right?
Yep.
Why not? Why not bring in John? Why not bring in John Harbaugh so he could play Jim Harbaugh twice a year? Come on, bro. That ratings would go through the roof. Not only would y'all be better, but come on, I would love to see a Harbaugh twice a year.
So basically, you're telling the Raiders to do the same mistake twice.
Why? What you mean?
This is what I mean.
How we just said Harbaugh wasn't a bad coach.
I know. Neither is Pete Carroll. This is what I mean by the same mistake twice.
Harbaugh might be better than Pete Carroll. I don't know.
No, this is what I mean. Let me tell you the context of what I mean.
Okay.
First of all, they should have never hired Pete Carroll in the first place. It just feels like
I can see that
because they should have hired him in the first place. Sorry, I mean some candy, but should have they should have hired him in the first place because you want to build a young roster, a young team. Why do you have an old coach? Why are you trying to get an old coach if you're trying to build a young team?
Yeah.
Pete Carroll's like damn near 80. I understand he's got a lot of youthful exuberance. He does. For a damn near 80-year-old man, he feels like 50. Yeah, all right. He's like 50 or 40. But yeah, he's still an old head coach. Still older head coach. And so now you're telling the Raiders to basically, hey, do the same mistake twice. Get another old head coach. Instead of getting a young head coach that's like 35, 40 years old, like, you know, he's like, I'm talking about like that for your young team, for your young quarterback. Let's get John Harbaugh. Now, does this sound like a Raiders move to do? Of course! This sounds right up Baby Davis's alley. I call him Baby Davis, you know, Al Davis's son, because that's who owns the Raiders. This sounds exactly right up his alley. Little Baby Davis. But if you want to be smart, Raiders, you would get, because you're going to get a young quarterback, you're going to have a young team, you're trying to rebuild, which means you need a young head coach. That's all I'm saying. But to each his own. To each his own. But let's yeah.
I have a new head coaching vacancy. Can I tell you a hot take that I may be interested in exploring?
What is it?
Y'all just let go of y'all offensive coordinator.
It's about
the
Cliff?
Ravens need a head coach. Yep. Cliff Kingsbury. The Ravens need a head coach who is offensively minded. To go with Lamar in that offense. Now, I will say I meant to mention this earlier, but this is where the Ravens dropped the ball. Because if y'all were going to get rid of Harbaugh, y'all should have got rid of Harbaugh last year and hired elevated, what's his name? Mike McDonald. Because you see Mike McDonald over here, when he was with us, we had like the number 2 ranked defense. Now we had like the number 20 something defense, and the Seahawks got the number 1 defense. Or something like that. And they have and they had the number 1 seed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think y'all the number 1. I think the Seahawks are like a top 3 defense. Yeah.
No, we had the number 1. So in 2023, we had the number 1 ranked defense. The Seahawks had number 25, right? In 2025, the Ravens had the 18th ranked defense, and now the Seahawks have number 2.
Looks like you should have got.
We could have had a head coach, bro. We wouldn't even have no problem. And Mike McDonald of Michigan, man, bro. Come on, y'all know he was great. Y'all knew he was great.
Uh, crazy, crazy, crazy. But
Hey,
to your hot
y'all
take,
might hear me talk about Carolina next year. The Ravens are on the hot seat unless they do something great.
but you mentioned your hot take, Cliff Kingsbury. First of all, we mutually agreed to get rid of Cliff Kingsbury. Now, me as a Commanders fan, I didn't like it. But I first thought we got rid of him. But then when I heard the rumors of that Cliff Kingsbury wanted to, he wanted to get one of the head coaching vacancies. I can't get mad at a man for trying to get his money. All right, for trying to get a promotion. I can't get mad at that. All right, the dude is trying to get a promotion.
But should he do it?
No, he should not get, because, dude,
Maybe not.
you weren't even a successful college head coach, much less NFL. Okay, if you want, I'm just saying, buyer beware. There's a reason why we didn't make Cliff Kingsbury our head coach. The reason why he was an offensive coordinator. All right, Cliff Kingsbury led teams always start out hot, and then I'm talking about within the season they start out hot, and then they cool down very, like, look at his year in look at that year in Arizona. What was it? Was it 2021? It was a year that the Arizona, last time the Arizona Cardinals made the playoffs, right? They started out like 7-1 or 8-1, but then they ended like 11-6.
Yeah, that was the last team that kind of like played like the Colts. That's how I knew the Colts
Yep.
weren't gonna be good. Because I was like, I've seen Arizona do this like sometime. I forgot Kingsbury was the head coach.
And he's never, not even, like I said, not even in college he was a successful head coach. He had a losing record in college. And then the Arizona Cardinals thought, you know what, maybe that'd be a good head. Maybe it'll be a good NFL head. No, he wasn't.
What if he goes back?
He's
to
a really good
Arizona?
offensive coordinator for like mobile quarterbacks. That'd be hilarious. I'm like, so y'all want this second round of failure again? Like, y'all,
Yeah.
like, you all saw that it did not work.
I don't really necessarily
Like, nah.
think Cliff Kingsbury may be the greatest head coach of all time, but if he was a successful head coach, I think he would be a really successful head coach. But very boomer bust. Very boomer bust.
Yeah, that's what. Like, I was fine with him being our offense coordinator, and I would not. Now, if he became our head coach, I would be very, very afraid. I would be scared for my team. Like, oh no. Like, I don't even think Dan Quinn's like the most perfect guy in the world, but I'd rather have Dan Quinn as my head coach than Cliff Kingsbury. Like, give me Dan Quinn over Cliff Kingsbury any day of the week. But yeah, I am mad. I am a little bit sad that Cliff Kingsbury had to leave, but it is what it is. But speaking of the Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon also gone. That was more of a foregone conclusion, though. Did he? I saw this clip of him, and I was like, bro, he couldn't motivate a piece of toast. But
maybe that's what's wrong with like Kyler and Marvin Harrison.
huh.
Because I expect a little bit more out of them too. I don't know,
But of course, let's get to Kevin Stefanski. That's what I really wanted to talk about. Just a little bit. This man got fired. He's a 2-time coach of the year. Still got fired. This is with like, people are shocked.
So you're saying this was a bad move by the Browns?
Yes, but it was a move that they kind of had to make. Because I think the Browns really want to see what they got in your door. But when you have a head coach that
doesn't,
yeah,
you get Bryce Young with Frank Reich. That's what
exactly.
You get.
So that the reason why, like I said, because I think the Browns want to see, because I don't think Stefanski wanted Shedeur Sanders. This is why he got drafted in the 5th round. But I think the Browns front office wanted Shedeur Sanders.
It was like, boy,
and I think they wanted to see him.
Now we're gonna fire you.
And I think they want to see what they got in Shedeur. I think they want to see more out of him. I think they want him to be the starting quarterback going into next season. But I don't think Kevin I can never say his damn name. Stefanski.
Kevin Stefanski.
But that's why he got fired. Point blank. Everybody can say this, that. No, he got fired because the Browns front office wanted Shedeur to be the starting quarterback. Wanted to still see more of Shedeur Sanders and what he can do. And Kevin Stefanski is like, nah, Dylan Gabriel's my guy. Point blank, period. That's it. I ain't got nothing else to say. What do you think, KJ?
That would be fun. This would be another team. Would be funny if they got John Harbaugh. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think Stefanski is a bad head coach. Nah, he's still 5-12, but this is the Browns we're talking about here. Yeah, I don't know who they're gonna get as their head coach. I don't know if anybody out there is going to shake the tables, but Stefanski, from what I'm hearing, has already met with Atlanta, the Giants, and the Titans. So it's a market.
Cliff Kingsbury to the Browns. You mentioned Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury to the Browns.
That would be an absolute dumpster fire.
I can see that move happening.
And I can see it happening.
Exactly. I told you I can see this move happening. Like if it happens, God, that would be so you heard it here first.
That's extreme boomer bust times 2. Because you don't know what you're gonna get with Cliff Kingsbury, and then he'll be going to the Browns. Nah.
But the last move that happened, it was in the last coaching firing that we'll mention, and it was the first one that happened. Raheem Morris. He also got fired with the GM
and the CEO.
So Atlanta,
they all gone. Arthur Blank said, "Bro, I ain't playing with y'all. I'm the second richest man in Atlanta. You can't make me look like this."
The second richest man, I'm guessing T.I.'s the most richest man in Atlanta.
Nah, man, T.I. ain't got Arthur Blank money.
I know, I just joking.
I forget who's the richest man in Atlanta.
But second richest man in Atlanta. But yeah, Falcons fans, are you sure this is the right move? See, my thing is, you have Michael Penix. That's who you drafted. That's who this previous GM drafted. Now, we said this on the podcast before, and I've said this on the podcast before. I've also said this on our podcast TikTok, that a young rookie quarterback, a young quarterback, developing quarterback, needs consistency at the head coach and in the front office. Now, you're going to saddle a new CEO, a new GM, and a new head coach with a Michael Penix, who, that's not their guy. That's not going to be their guy. And so my question is to you, Arthur Blank, was this really a move that you really wanted to make? Was this a move that you really should have made? I understand that Raheem Morris wasn't the perfect head coach. But what about your GM? From what I've seen, he's made some pretty good picks over these last couple years.
He doubled down in that they needed a defensive end last draft. He doubled down, and I think one of them got 12 sacks.
Exactly. And I think the other one, even though he didn't get double-digit sacks, from what I was saying, he's playing well as well. So your GM was making some pretty good picks. A lot of people say he got fired because of the Kirk Cousins contract, and then he drafted Michael Penix. Dumb move, yes. However, my thing is, you should let the GM see it through to the end of Michael Penix's rookie contract. At the very least.
I think this year, any head coach that was on the hot seat and lost to the Jets just had to go. If you lose to the Jets, bro, that's not good. Raheem Morris, Kevin Stefanski, can't lose to the Jets, bro.
True. You can't lose to the Jets. However, fire the head coach. I think I'm more fine with them firing the head coach, but I am less fine with them firing your GM as well, especially when he's made you some good picks in the last couple.
Yeah, Bijan, Drake London.
Yeah, like you've got some good picks at it, so he's done his job. I don't. We'll see. Falcons are gonna Falcon. It's okay. Whatever. I just don't be surprised if Michael Penix ends up not working out because you got rid of the front office person, the person that actually believed in him, and now you saddle him with a new GM who's not going to believe, who's not once again not his guy. And once again, we've seen this all the time. We've seen this multiple times, but it is what it is. But we are in playoff season. We are in NFL playoff season. The wild card round is here. We got the number one seed in the AFC and NFC. The number one seed is the Broncos. The number one seed in the NFC is the Seahawks. So they're the ones who get the bye. Sips the tea. And so now the wild card round is here. So you know what we got to do now. It is our weekly pick six. We got 6 games up on the docket. 6 wild card matchups. And we're going to begin with the first wild card game. The Los Angeles Rams at the Carolina Panthers. KJ, who do you got?
Oh, well, since this is our last pick 6, I have to go correct. Can't go by my feelings, right? So, if I know anything, Carolina and the Rams played week 13, and we forced 3 turnovers on them. The Rams are also favored by 10. Funny enough, Carolina is the 15th to make the playoffs with the losing record. The Seahawks did it. We did it again in 2014. Y'all did it in 2020, and the Bucks did it in 2023. So the NFC South is we kind of been bad for a minute, bro. But yeah, the Rams are favored by 10, and I don't know if the Carolina Panthers will win again. Though our defense is pretty good, give me Matt Stafford.
Yeah, if they're favored by 10, that sounds really great because I think the Rams will whoop up on your Panthers. Give me ain't no way. I think the Rams will be ready for your Panthers. They ain't gonna get upset again. Yeah, give me the Rams 30-16, baby. The next game is a divisional matchup. Third time around, these two teams it's always that third time around that's just who's gonna win. We got the Packers at the Bears. KJ, who you got?
Fun fact: I think the Packers picked up Diggs' brother from the Cowboys. So
Yep,
it
they
looks
did.
like he's playing with his best friend Micah Parsons again.
Michael Parsons is
But
hurt.
I think that's where even though he's hurt, yeah. But I think that's where the magic stops because the Bears are the healthier team and the hotter team, and they're at home. Dang, did y'all know Carolina was playing a game at home? How did that happen, bro? We're 8-9. Anyway, go ahead.
That's the way that it is. But
That's just the way
yeah,
it is.
the Packers have lost like 3 in a row. Like they ended the season, they literally kind of backpedaled into the playoffs. Now, I would say this: we have seen this before. We have seen before a team backpedal into the playoffs and miraculously get to the Super Bowl. Who was that team, MC Ron? Well, that was the 2008 Arizona Cardinals, if nobody remembers. Remember that team? That team kind of lost, like I think it was 4 or 5 entering. Yeah, but anyway,
Greatest Super Bowl ever.
but that ain't gonna happen for the Packers. Give me the Bears, man. 27-20. I think it's gonna be closer because it is a divisional game. But yeah, give me the Bears. All right. So the next game, this one puts at my heartstrings because it's involving my MVP. My MVP. He will no longer be the reigning league MVP after the season, but he'll still be the reigning league MVP in my heart. But my MVP, Josh Allen, and the Buffalo Bills going at the Jacksonville / London Jaguars. KJ, who you got?
Give me Goldilocks. No.
And the 3
Dude.
Bears.
What'd you say?
I said, and the 3 Bears.
And the 3 Bears. I think that Cook just won the rushing title.
Yep.
But the Jacksonville Jaguars have the number 1 rushing defense. They're kind of the hotter team, and they have more of a even balanced offense. I'm taking the Jaguars at home.
This one's tugged at my heartstrings right there.
Yeah, go on, send your boy home.
As president of the Josh Allen fan club, I'm sorry, Josh. You're going home in the first round. There's no
Bye, fake MVP.
And but the thing but what's gonna upset me is that people are gonna be like, "Oh, Josh Allen has no excuses." Like, people really think. And this is why I have a problem with this whole people overvaluing the quarterback position, because people are acting like football's not the ultimate team game. Yeah, yes. Yes, Josh Allen does not have to go up, quote unquote, go up against Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, quote unquote. The reason I say quote unquote because quarterbacks don't play defense, but anyway, they don't play both sides of the ball. But anyway, people think it's like automatic. Oh yeah, the Bills should win. I'm like, bro, do you see how the Bills are built? Like that, the team defensively, they're not that good. They're not like elite. They're not an elite defense. They have an elite running back. They have a really good offensive line. Give that. But what else? Do they have a top tier head coach?
Fringe.
Because last time I said,
Maybe not.
because last time I checked, Sean McDermott, a lot of people been calling for his job. So then but yeah, like you just said though, I don't want to go on a tangent here, so I want to keep things. Give me the Jaguars. I think it's going to be closer than when we think this, but I think the Jaguars eventually, because right now they're a team on a hot streak. They're the more like you said, they're the more balanced team, and they're definitely the better defensive team. They're going to shut down the run game and force the Bills wide receivers to beat them, and all they have is a out of his prime Brandon Cooks. Yeah, that ain't gonna do that. That's not gonna get the job done. Yeah, give me the Jaguars 34-28. Yeah. The next game is, now this might be the game of the whole wild card weekend. The 49ers at the Eagles. I'm going to tell you this. The winner of this game might be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. Go ahead, KJ.
Give me the Eagles. The Niners have been playing pretty good, but they don't have Trent Williams. So something just tells me Philly at home. Yep, give me that.
Yeah, you don't want to go into Philadelphia with that defense, and you don't
minus your left tackle.
Exactly, minus your left tackle. You don't want to have any weaknesses on that offensive line, especially when you've got to block up Jalen Carter and then Jordan Davis, and then I think Jalen Phillips, who's been a revelation for them, coming off the edge. You don't want to have weaknesses especially the way the 49ers looked against the Seahawks. Against the Seahawks defense. Yeah, they were completely dominated. Yeah. I think the Eagles not only win, I think the Eagles win by double digits, especially because the Eagles, they've been getting disrespected. They've been looking. The one thing you do not want is a defending Super Bowl champion being an underdog, and they're being overlooked by a lot of people. Not me, but a lot of other people are just completely overlooking the Eagles. I think that's gonna come back to bite a lot of people. So yeah, give me the Eagles 27-17. The next game we're going to predict is, oh man, this feels like 2007 all over again, because it is the Chargers at the Patriots. Who you got, KJ?
I have the Patriots. I think this one might be a really good. I think this one might be a really good game too. But I have the Patriots at home. I think I got all the home teams so far besides Carolina.
I think I agree with you. Same thing, KJ. Good game. Give me the Patriots. Narrowly beating the Chargers 24-21. And the last game is we got the Texans at the Steelers. I think DK Metcalf is back from suspension.
Yeah.
So, who you got, KJ?
I got the Texans. Not because I hate the Steelers, but I usually go with the better quarterback, and I think this time I'm going with the better defense. That Texans defense is nasty. And I'm taking defense on the road every time.
Me too. I think the Texans do have the better defense, and that's why I also got them winning. The Steelers offense, even with DK Metcalf, hasn't really been impressive this whole season. Now they're going up against basically an elite defense with the Texans. That ain't going to be a good thing. I just think, and also I think the Texans offense are just going to do just enough to win. And so yeah, they're not gonna score 30, 40 points. Nah, give me the Texans 23-17.
And Fairbairn, Kyle Fairbairn is not Tyler Loop. Okay. Now let me not talk stuff about Tyler Loop because Tyler Loop has been phenomenal this year. But I don't see Fairbairn missing many kicks ever. So if it comes down to it,
Yeah, so give me the Texas 23-17. But that is it for the weekly pick six. The last, like you said, the last pick six, because next week we're gonna pick like 4 games and all that. It is okay. It is okay. It is okay. Let's enjoy the NFL playoffs and not look at the doom and gloom that is the end of football season. But anyway,
it's okay.
That's not the only playoffs that's going. Yeah, that's not the only playoffs that's going around. The college football playoffs is going around, people. Still, get the college football playoffs, and the semifinal games are set. We got Indiana versus Oregon, and a Big Ten matchup, baby. That just a Big Ten school is going to go to the championship. That's all that matters. And then we got Ole Miss versus the U. Crazy. So before we get into those semifinals games, let's talk just a little bit about how these teams got to the semifinals. Specifically, Indiana dominating Bama. Like, KJ, like, I think that was the biggest story from this past weekend in college football. Like, Indiana completely dominating Bama.
It just seems like ever since Jim Harbaugh retired Nick Saban, Alabama has not been the same. And now apparently they got Big Ten PTSD every time they see a Big Ten team. Because I think we beat Alabama twice. So every time they see a Big Ten team, they shrivel up a little bit, man. I did not see this butt whooping coming. I picked Indiana to win, but Alabama only in 3 points. And they have a pretty decent quarterback. I think Todd Simpson is their quarterback. I'm being facetious when I say pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? But good Lord, 38-3.
Well, I would say the Bama has always.
I have no words. I'm still dumbfounded.
And it wasn't just that. It's just that the Indiana was able to dominate Bama on like both lines of scrimmage, like completely. Like, when was the last time we saw Bama get dominated on both lines of scrimmage like that?
Michigan.
Like, I don't think ever.
But outside that, no, you're right. Never.
Speaking of, well, not Michigan, but speaking of your rival, Ohio State, ding dong, the witch is dead. There will be a new national champion. Because the U beat Ohio State, where even I thought Ohio State was going to win this game. And what really impressed me was, I think it goes back to, we talked about the Indiana Bama game, how it's going back to the line of scrimmage. But this one, once again, it's back to the line of scrimmage. The offensive line for Ohio State could not block the Miami ends at all. Could not block that defensive front. Especially those two ends. I forgot what their name was. I do apologize. I really do. I want to say their names and give y'all the credit y'all deserve, but But yeah, they couldn't contain them. And that really was kind of the ball game. The funniest moment of the ball game was that pick six, though. I didn't see that. I didn't see that one coming. Of course, also in the second round in the college football playoffs, we had Oregon completely shutting out Texas Tech. I didn't really watch that game, but Oregon's for real. Or maybe Texas Tech is fake, but anyway, no.
Another fake
Oregon's
team in the playoffs. It's the third one.
but because James Madison scored more, a ton more against Oregon than Texas Tech did. But and then you had Ole Miss shocking UGA in the best game of the college football playoff so far. Would you say Ole Miss
That
versus
Ole Miss
UGA?
quarterback looked like Patrick Mahomes. That man was going running right, coming back left, doing a spin in the air, flicking the ball for like 20-yard first downs. Like, bro, what? A walk on,
Yeah,
I think.
Trinidad Chambliss. Shout out to him. Yeah, because he had a though I think I did say I felt like the Ole Miss was going to beat UGA this time. I just felt it. I was like some
Yeah,
told me
I
that
was unfamiliar with
they
his
were going to do
game.
it
If I knew he was like that, I would have picked Ole Miss too.
because remember the Ole Miss for a large part of the game against Georgia early in the regular season was up. So I had a feeling that UGA they I don't think Ole Miss is going to let that happen this time. But it was the best game of so far these playoffs. Hopefully the semifinal games are better. Like I just said, we got Indiana versus Oregon and Ole Miss versus the U. Who do you think wins those two games? Who do you think gets to the national championship game, KJ?
Well, my first initial instinct is Indiana and Miami. But do y'all really think that they're gonna leave the SEC out of a natty? I'm leaning towards
That's what I
Indiana Ole
want.
Miss. Yeah, leaning towards Indiana Ole Miss. Because I
I got
usually I don't do
Indiana
the
in the U.
recency bias, but Chambliss, that man is Houdini. I need more.
I do like their quarterback. He was, and the fact that he was like what, like a division, like no, he was a JUCO. He was a JUCO transfer, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. And
So
and
yeah,
so like when I
he's
first, and this is
the
my
next
first
Cam
time seeing
Newton.
him. So when I saw him come on the field, and he has he got a leg sleeve on and an arm sleeve. I'm sitting here like, oh, okay, so he looked the part, so he definitely not gonna play good. Wrong. He earned his VC.
Mhm. And it's crazy. He was a 0-star recruit, I think, something like that. But yeah, I'm leaning towards Indiana and the U because I do not want to see SEC. Yeah, I'm hating on the SEC because Big Ten promises, baby. My narrative is SEC is an overrated football conference. By them not making another national championship game, just keeps on hammering that nail in. So yeah, I'm leaning towards Indiana and the U. Either way, I'm excited for these semifinal games. I cannot wait. Cannot wait to be. But let's talk. Let's take about 5 minutes, KJ, before we get to this good old shout outs and all that stuff. Talk about a little bit of NBA basketball because I only got one thing for NBA basketball. It is involving Trae Young and a possible trade to my Wizards. So, KJ, how do you feel about that?
Personally, I don't know if y'all want Trae Young, because yes, he is phenomenally offensively talented, but he's only played like 10 games this season. You have to hide him too much on defense, and then y'all would have to give up a first round draft pick. And in this draft, I don't know if you want to do that. Because you got players like AJ Debance out there, and even if y'all don't get the number 1 overall draft pick, like I think even Caleb Wilson out of UNC would be incredible.
Yeah.
That's baby KG.
Yeah, and that's why I say no. Now, do I believe that this front office is possibly going to do it? Yes, because I don't trust my I don't trust my Wizards front office. I really don't. At all. Like they give me Dan Snyder front office vibes. So, yeah, I do Do I want this Trae Young trade to happen? No. Do I see it happening? Yes. And I see us giving up a first round. Oh, don't worry. He'll sell tickets. Yes. Yeah, definitely. So he's that Orlando. Basically like a team that actually has the defensive capabilities to hide them. Because right now, my Wizards do not have the defensive capabilities to hide Trae Young's. Especially, yeah.
I think Trae Young would be like suited better off in like Orlando or Miami or something. Maybe not Miami, but like Orlando.
But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this podcast up with our last second shout out. So, KJ, who in the sports world do you have to shout out?
I am going to go ahead and shout out my probable offensive rookie of the year candidate. In Teteroya McMillan, bro. Come on. Well, first of all, the reason why I'm shouting him out is because he set Carolina rookie receiver records for yards and touchdowns with over 1,000 and 7 touchdowns. So maybe we looking at the new Mike Evans of the division. I don't know, but shout out to my guy.
Well, my shout out goes out to Bobby Wagner for joining Ray Lewis and London Fletcher in the 2000 Tackle Club. We know that Bobby Wagner, you're going to be a future Hall of Famer, and you're going to be wearing that gold jacket when you retire. Hopefully, after this year. but yeah, shout out to you, Bobby Wagner. You've had a great and long career. You're a Super Bowl champion. So yeah, shout out to you. But that's all the time we have, folks. You've now tuned in to MC Ron and his co-host.
Your guy, Zen on Ken.
And we are keeping it 10 toes down. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be on the podcast and talk your sports stuff with the best in the business, that is me and my co-host KJ, all you have to do is one of two things. Either send an email to keepingit10toesdown@gmail.com. That is keepingit10toesdown@gmail.com. Or send us a direct message on Instagram. That is at keepingit10toes. That is at keepingit10toes. We got the wild card playoffs. We got the semifinals of the college football playoffs. So we've got a lot of great football in store. So, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and most importantly, enjoy. You have a great night.
The sun is under my feet and I come in peace to compete. I don't run if you athlete. My statistics go up in weeks and I go visit the nearest creek and I get busy. Yo, mini MC, really ballistic. Anybody can see any assistance. Everybody to see some persistence. Recognize I be really too vicious. The permanent beast and the demolition. Bringing up the street. Better partition. Better dot your T. Hannibal mention. How all you see. Putting my dick in the rap industry. Everybody bitching. Getting mad at me. Recognize Kendrick in a battery. And I'm charged up in a catastrophe. It's charged up in audacity. Y'all fucks never good.